Okay, first take. See what happens. Project. Must project. Shapes. Forms that are present in every period of art, no matter how far back or recent. I wanted to test that idea, so I chose a specific era and a specific piece to focus on. The Renaissance. A popular time period of art history. This was actually one of my personal favorite periods of art to study back when I took AP Art History back in junior year of high school. The Renaissance occurred from the 14th to the 16th century. Following a rough but now relatable event devastating Europe during the late Middle Ages, European artists began to change. Gone were the days of portrayals of humans at their worst, and in came a lot of musculature and math. The French word Renaissance means rebirth, appropriate as the core of the Renaissance was the rebirth of the classical Greco-Roman styles. Greco-Roman styles were centered around celebrating humanism, the beauty of nature and the human form, and how harmonious it is when studied and broken down through math. The focus on humanism and on secularism during the Renaissance was brought back and then developed during the Renaissance. One of the most revolutionary parts of Greco-Roman art was the understanding of proportion, the concept of something being visually perfect thanks to proportional relationships. Renaissance artists took that idea and ran with it. If there's anything that people remember about the Renaissance, besides all the naked people, it's the four great masters: Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Donatello. While Michelangelo is my favorite of the four, I'm gonna talk about arguably the most famous master of the four, and ironically my favorite of the Ninja Turtles, Leonardo da Vinci.
Da Vinci?
Remember all that stuff about proportions in the human body? Well, essentially that's what Da Vinci shows in The Vitruvian Man. The Italian painter, architect, and inventor was known for his many scientific sketches filled with drawings and diagrams presenting his own understanding of many concepts and inventions that didn't even exist yet, such as the helicopter. But by far the piece that made him a cultural icon, besides the Mona Lisa, was The Vitruvian Man. With this piece, Da Vinci presents what are the proportions of the human body according to Vitruvius. Vitruvius was a Roman architect and engineer who expressed all the intricacies of what would be the perfect proportions in a purely mathematical way, similar in a way to architecture. And so, in ink, pen, and a metal point rendering, Da Vinci portrayed the core ideal of the Renaissance with the simple use of a circle and tons of precise measurements, a lot of them. But why did all these measurements work? Well, it's all thanks to the circle. The circle was key to Renaissance architecture, ecclesiastic architecture in particular, because the form helped create a sense of harmony, balance, and logic. With no corners, no weak points, and complete and perfect symmetry, the circle is the perfect shape that seems nearly divine. That sense of divinity and perfection through a logical and mathematical understanding of proportion is seen in The Vitruvian Man, and how the nude male body fits perfectly within the confines of this divine shape. By following these extremely precise measurements within the circle drawn, Da Vinci was able to create a visual representation of the core of Renaissance beliefs. The human form itself is perfection and harmonious, and the proof is made apparent thanks to its relationship with the simply perfect form of the circle.